on almost every subject I can think of. She shut Trump down on abortion. She shut Trump down on January 6th and democracy. She shut him down on national security and turned to the former president and said, the military leaders who served with you think that you're a disgrace. And then, as Dana mentioned, very powerfully at the end made the point that she is the candidate of change. We need to turn the page from a decade of division and polarization.
Kamala Harris entered the debate stage with a mission: to expose Donald Trump's vulnerabilities while positioning herself as the clear alternative for America's future. It wasn't just about policy, it was about credibility.
I think that Kamala Harris pitched a shutout on almost every subject I can think of.
This was not a typical debate. Harris knew how to needle Trump, how to make him spiral into a defensive posture, and she succeeded. At one point, she reminded the audience of the failures under Trump's leadership.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Donald Trump left us the worst public health epidemic in a century. Donald Trump left us the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War.
The debate wasn't just a policy discussion. It was a personal dissection of Trump's character. Harris effectively drew attention to Trump's erratic behavior.
Then she triggered him with the people leave your rallies. And he lost it. And he was angry. From that moment on, his voice went up. He started angering. He told a lot of lies.
This breakdown wasn't isolated. It was part of a larger strategy. Harris framed Trump as incapable of dealing with the pressures of leadership, drawing a vivid contrast to her own composed demeanor.
I mean, if you can so unhinge somebody by saying people leave your rally, any world leader can manipulate you into anything.
One of the most bizarre moments came when Trump made an outlandish claim about immigration, saying,
"They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country."
This statement was fact-checked live, with news outlets quickly clarifying there was no evidence of this happening. Trump's willingness to spread misinformation made him appear disconnected from reality, a pattern that Harris exploited throughout the debate. The contrast between the two candidates was stark, with Harris taking on the role of a prosecutor systematically taking down her opponent. Trump's inability to defend his record only added to the impression that he was stuck in the past, while Harris looked forward. As one analyst pointed out,
she stood next to a former president, and she more than held her own. And on many of the issues, she schooled him. She simply schooled him because she triggered him into his lies and into his anger, which does not sell well with the middle of the electorate that will decide things 8 weeks from tonight.
Trump, on the other hand, was stuck in a loop, repeatedly falling into Harris's traps.
It comes down to Harris pulling pages out of the Trump playbook and it being an effective strategy here. So in a discussion about policy or in a discussion about issues that Harris has been struggling with in the polls, looking at issue-based polling, such as immigration, she was able to put the attention on Trump, put the focus on Trump, and seeing him take the bait on some of those points.
Another major point in the debate came when Trump delivered a disturbing statement on abortion.
He said, "The baby will be born, and we will decide what to do with the baby." In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates, because they're radical. The Democrats are radical in that. And her vice presidential pick, which I think was a horrible pick, by the way, for our country, because he is really out of it. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me.
This exaggeration drew sharp rebukes, with Harris and commentators alike denouncing it as a gross distortion of abortion policies. It was yet another moment where Trump's disconnect from facts stood out. At the end of the night, it wasn't just about who won or lost. It was about a shift in perception. Harris did more than just debate Trump. She put him in his place.
Kamala Harris did something great for every parent in America. She put the bully in his place.
Kamala Harris didn't just hold her own against Donald Trump. She exposed the flaws that could end his 2024 chances. Her precision, confidence, and ability to trigger his outbursts left a lasting impression. The question is no longer if she can stand up to Trump. It's if he can recover from the blow she delivered. If you're ready to see what's next, hit that subscribe button and let's continue the conversation.